What if Chinese Admiral Zheng He reached America 71 years before Columbus and kept it secret? In 1421, his massive treasure fleet of 300 ships carrying 30,000 crew members anchored off the California coast. The Yongle Emperor had ordered him to map the entire world, and he was succeeding beyond imagination. Zheng He's fleet encountered Native American tribes along the Pacific coast, establishing trading posts from Mexico all the way to Chile. They left behind Chinese coins, porcelain, and detailed navigation charts using advanced cartography techniques. The 1424 Venetian map later showed Chinese place names scattered along the American coastline, but his greatest discovery came in Peru, vast silver deposits that could fund China's empire for centuries. Yet Zheng He made a shocking decision. He classified everything as a state secret. Every crew member took death oaths of silence. The maps were locked away. China abandoned the Americas completely, allowing Europeans to claim discovery credit 70 years later. One man's secrecy changed the course of world history. What if the Zhou dynasty's legendary flying chariots were actually primitive spacecraft that achieved orbital flight around 800 BC? Ancient Chinese texts describe mysterious vehicles that soared through the heavens. But what if these weren't myths? If the Zhou possessed real spacecraft, Chinese astronomy would have advanced by 3,000 years overnight through direct space observation. They would have mapped the entire world from orbit, making European exploration pointless centuries before it began. The Mongol invasions, impossible against a civilization with satellite surveillance and orbital bombardment capabilities. Taoism would have evolved into a cosmic philosophy based on actual space travel experience, fundamentally changing world religions. The Industrial Revolution would never have happened because they'd already have space-based solar energy and asteroid mining. With 2,800 years of space technology advancement, human civilization would be unrecognizable. By the medieval period, Earth would have become a unified Chinese-dominated planet. One ancient breakthrough would have changed everything we know about human development. What if ancient China had the world's first democracy 1,500 years before Europe? In 221 AD, warlord Liu Bei shocked the world by establishing an elected parliament in Shuhan. This minor noble had gained power through popular support, not royal blood. He created the revolutionary benevolent government system where villages chose their own magistrates. Archaeological evidence from Chengdu shows stone carvings of actual ballot boxes and voting procedures. Liu Bei wrote history's first Bill of Rights, protecting peasant farmers from aristocratic abuse. He guaranteed trial by jury and legal appeals for common people. His most radical innovation required all officials to face re-election every 3 years. Citizens could even recall corrupt administrators through petition drives. When noble-born officials violated peasant rights, he had them publicly executed. Crowds of farmers cheered as their democratic protector delivered justice. But when Liu Bei died, traditional autocracy returned under his successors. These democratic innovations were forgotten for over 1,000 years. One man's vision of ancient democracy vanished with him. What if the world's first communist state wasn't created by Marx, but by a Chinese peasant rebel 2,000 years earlier? In 206 BC, Liu Bang overthrew the Qin dynasty and did something revolutionary. He abolished all private land ownership and redistributed everything equally among farmers. Archaeological evidence from the Mawangdui tomb reveals government documents describing collective farming cooperatives and state production quotas. Liu Bang established universal healthcare, free education for all, and took control of iron production and salt mining. His mandate of heaven wasn't religious doctrine, it was primitive communist theory. The emperor served as the people's representative, not a divine ruler. These radical policies created China's golden age of prosperity and technological advancement. For 400 years, this communist experiment thrived, influencing every dynasty that followed. While Europe was still centuries away from Marx's theories, China had already proven communist economics could work. History's first successful communist state happened millennia before anyone thought it was possible. What if a single missionary's words from 300 years ago could destroy an entire warrior culture? In 1877, at the Battle of Shiroyama, Japan's last samurai faced their final stand. But their enemy wasn't just government soldiers with modern rifles. Francis Xavier's 16th century letters condemning Bushido as devil worship had been rediscovered by Meiji officials. These theological writings became the perfect weapon against samurai morale. As Saigo Takamori and his warriors prepared for their last battle, something unprecedented unprecedented happened. Government forces began reading Xavier's anti-Bushido sermons through megaphones across the battlefield. The Christian missionaries' words echoed through the mountains, calling their honor code evil and their traditions demonic. For the first time, these proud warriors heard their entire belief system branded as satanic by Western religion. Saigo Takamori, hearing these condemnations, realized his worldview was now considered barbaric by the modern world. As Xavier's words continued playing, he performed ritual seppuku. 700 years of samurai tradition ended not by bullets, but by theological warfare from beyond the grave.